I'm Cato Gooding, owner and operator of Gooding Services. I've done work all around the city of Flores Park, but there's a reason why we're based out of Shadow Valley. The city has its police force and Alpha Corps. It even has superheroes that patrol the streets. They're more than capable of dealing with various threats. Shadow Valley is full of hard-working, honest people. It's unfortunate that the city acts like you don't even exist. And that's why we're here. Let's be honest, the city allocates little resources for Shadow Valley. That's why they're so late to respond to issues. Good people deserve good service. For our great citizens, we provide it all. From firefighting to criminal investigations, you can count on Gooding Services.
Gooding Services has a bundle for all budgets. You can be fully protected with emergency response for just $49.99.
Good afternoon, good evening, everyone. This is way too big for me, Eric.
Hey man, we get your size down. I swear to God, just actually hit me up after the show. We'll get your size down, no problem. On the house. On the house.
Good afternoon. Good evening. Look at it, it's so big.
I love it.
I can't even get it on anymore, man.
I fucking love it.
Like wearing a tent.
I love it.
Good afternoon. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to RIP and the Silverback issue 18. Now I know how a woman feels in a certain part of the world. I am the Silverback. He is the RIP.
Yeah.
How y'all doing, Eric?
Doing good, man. Doing good. Been busy. Final week of Gooding. So we've been hustling and bustling, making sure we get ready for fulfillment going into Monday, man. So exciting times.
Has anyone tweeted on your tipples before?
Have they what?
Have they tweeted on your twipples before?
I don't know if that's what language that is. But you have to translate for me.
Okay, I'm gonna try and my God, I post a lot of shit on Twitter. I'm gonna try and find the moment. I really should have bookmarked this. Oh, is this the one? So let's just see if we can share this for a little bit, shall we? Okay. So this is Boogie. Boogie's very mad because he got caught lying about having cancer.
Oh God.
And so, instead of being the better man for the first time in his life, he decided to play manipulative. I feel sorry for me. When that didn't work, it was screaming and shouting, and when that didn't work, it was I'm gonna delete myself. The classic thing. I hope this is the bit. No, it's oak barrels. I've got to.
Says so. Only people that aren't capable of refusing his testimony are allowed. This is why. This is why I told you I couldn't.
Out on the park.
You not admit this on the show. I begged you.
You crushed it.
I begged you. I begged you, Dan. I begged you.
You crushed it. You did very good tonight.
I fucking begged you.
You did. What's going on?
That's a very good question, Keem. That's a very good question.
What's going on, man?
That was just a little bit of an absolute unhinged meltdown.
Man, what is
last time he was seen was in Compton, I think. I don't get it. I don't get it.
That's wild.
Yeah.
Man. That's wild stuff. Like no joke.
I'm trying to. Hey, anyone,
All
chat,
the YouTubers is going crazy, I guess.
chat. You know what I'm talking about. You know the clip I'm trying to find. If you know where it is, at me on Twitch, so I can show Eric the beauty, of it, because I think Eric would be very impressed. Very impressed. Because you're a no oak barrels. I know you've got it. Come on, man. Don't hold out on me. Link me it. Come on, guy. Link me it. Link me the clip. You know the clip. It's only a couple of seconds long. That's all it needs. I mean, that's what I swear by personally. But how you doing apart from that, Eric? Huh?
I guess apart from that, I'm doing great. I can't complain. Life's good. Working hard, harder than I ever have.
Lied about having cancer recently?
No, that I have not done.
Have a secret fetish about eating male semen out of your girlfriend's?
No, not going the Destiny route there.
Okay.
So none of that stuff floating around for sure.
Wow. Well, you're boring.
Yeah, I know. I'm just a guy that just very boring, right? Very boring.
Normies, eh?
Yeah, regular
normies. I'm keeping my eye out on social media. Some hero is going to drop that clip. Some hero is going to drop that clip. I ended up going down a little bit of a rabbit hole last night because we did EFAP last week, and this coming week we've been going through the whole Boogie life.
Okay, documentary and all that shit.
Yeah, well, we did it. We've done an EFAP on the documentary. Now we're kind of like going all the way back to all of his little shenanigans.
Okay.
Throughout the year, and the first EFAP ended up to the cancer announcement, which would be 2 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And then we're gonna get all the way to the live. But this last week has been such an insane drop that last night I was down a rabbit hole for the first. Well, thank God I wasn't watching the actual. I was watching a third party, obviously. Mauler, Mauler? Can you DM me the link, please?
What's up, Mauler?
Can you you know what you know? Can you DM me what you DM'd to us put in private chat yesterday, please? Because I think Eric needs to see this. He needs to. His life just won't be complete without it. So we got all the way up to the announcement in the first part, but like last night I was watching, I think it was the latest LolCal Live, and Jim Medica came back on, and just the I was actually getting mad. I was thinking this guy, I'm talking about Boogie here, this guy could really do with going away. Man. Forever.
I don't know what it is with just I don't know, man. People throwing it away all over dumb shit, man. I mean, I guess you can argue probably with a lot of these guys that they've always had some shit that's wrong with them, and then something happens, they get exposed, and then they really start to spiral kind of fucking out of control. And that's been really the conversation over the last week, where it's just people into some weird shit, man, that are either connected to bigger YouTubers or are bigger YouTubers themselves. And
but it looks like everyone can make a mistake.
True.
Or somebody can be flawed. Yeah. And have I don't know what you want to call it, a coming to Jesus moment, an intervention. Yeah, because
nobody's
perfect.
Yeah.
We've all done dumb shit, and we're all gonna do more dumb shit before we die.
For sure. 1000%.
But I don't think this guy has ever been genuine at all.
Well, I think
just a little before you carry on. I have to show you.
Oh Jesus!
The moment last night. How much damage to your sanity do you think 3 seconds can do?
I'm going to be very impressed. Let's just say that this is only a 3 second clip. Let's check this out.
Oh, he has no idea.
No, I have no idea.
I can't wait to ask you again after you've seen it.
Okay.
My mother just twitted my fucking temples.
Oh, was that that was a Francis moment there?
No, this is
No, I know
on.
it's Boogie. No, I know it's
This is
Boogie.
Steve Williams. That is, yeah. This is
My mother just twitted my fucking temples. My mother just twitted my fucking temples. My mother just twitted my fucking temples.
I am not repeating on purpose. I keep hitting the wrong button.
What is the context?
The context is Jim wanted to confront him about his stories of abuse being completely all over the place. In terms of what actually happened to him, when it happened to him, etc. And so Jim was asking for Boogie to give him his baseline, his sort of like baseline story on the abuse. Okay. Without having to drop names that he didn't have to drop. But what was the sort of abuse that you went through? Kind of almost a little bit broad spectrum. And so Boogie kind of went into this kind of a little bit type of thing that he does because he was, oh, please leave me alone. I need sympathy type of bit. He was in one of those ones. And then Jim, after he did his thing, Jim went, well, you've said this and you said this and you said this and this doesn't correlate to this. And so he kind of really went after Boogie. But before Jim even came in, Keem tried to push him on bits of it. And so the context of this is his mum used to give him titty twisters. Is that what you call them? Oh. She'd given titty twisters, and so he couldn't get that out, and he came up with he came up with
my mother just twitted my fucking temple.
Okay, that's an interesting story to say the least. Probably the context didn't do me any good. That's for sure. Didn't help because. What made him spurg out like that? Like it's like
the whole
retelling of the story. Like, what was the spur? Why did he spurg out?
Because we know what Boogie's like. Boogie's a manipulative piece of shit who's been caught out. He's a piece of fucking filth, human being. And so now that he's being called out and because he's broke ass and he's got no money and he needs to do things like Lolcow Live, and I think he's invested in part ownership anyway, don't they? They all have part ownership. Him and Wings and Boogie and Keem and the other guy, they've all kind of got part ownership. So it's not as if they can really kick them off or anything like that. And so he was getting mad that he was caught. He was getting mad, and he was getting mad that he was being questioned about everything now.
So
he tried to do his and that wasn't getting anywhere. And so he decided to go the spurg out route in an effort to try and get people to go, all right, calm fucking down. There was lots of threats of self-deletion. Apparently,
I didn't see the picture of the. I'm pretty sure this wasn't the latest episode. It might have been when like the whole butter knife shit. I saw clips.
I haven't seen that.
No, I think that was the one, probably the episode before this. Yeah, man, that's unfortunate, man. Dude, sometimes you got to just take a step back, bro, and maybe get off this internet shit, man. It's too late for him. I think it's too late. That bridge got crossed to hell and back.
He's got nowhere to go. He's got nothing to do. This is a guy that beat bariatric surgery, for goodness sake. If he was, I think he'd be a lot happier as a human being if he did.
Yeah.
If he went off and just tried to get a regular job, to get a regular job, you got to be able to move around, and
that's also true. Yeah. You also have to have skills.
Yes.
Sure.
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of I don't know, man. I guess everybody, because I mean, he'd been on the internet for so long and probably been eating off of it quite literally.
17 years. He's been there
he's
longer
been on
than
it just as long as I've been on fucking as long as I've been on here. And I guess I don't know, man. I don't know what it is. I do see these people kind of spiral out of control, and it gets to a point to where it is too late to kind of turn around. But I don't know if it's because of the upbringing, right? If you've never kind of had to work, a real job for an extensive amount of time, maybe that strikes fear in you. Because I've joked about this all the time. If this shit, or I've stumbled across something like a struggle or some sort, right? I ain't too proud. I'm taking my ass to McDonald's and I'll work. Nothing wrong with it. I'd have no issues cutting off all of this shit, walking my black ass down to the local McDonald's because they always hiring, and I'll do whatever the fuck, be flipping the motherfucker out of those patties if that's what I am required to do. But I don't know, man. I think it's some people, they got this internet fame. Now they're addicted to it. There's no kind of turning back from it. And it has a way of kind of feeding into what destroyed them in the first place, right? So it's hard for them to kind of walk it back. And man, I think everybody would do. I mean, you do it every now and then. I think everybody would do themselves a lot of justice by just when they start. If you're going crazy, if this shit is this internet shit, where it be the cultural aspect of it all is making you make fools of yourselves, stop. Turn this shit off week at a time, month at a time, whatever you need to do before it's too late. Because I think with a case like Boogie, it's no turning that around. That's it.
No, I think with Boogie as well, he's addicted to the attention.
I think that's the same for most people that get in that position, is that's really the addiction there. It's the constant a need for attention and validation by people on the internet, and it's not healthy at all. Obviously, you kind of see. Boogie isn't the only case. We've seen what this has done to people, and they've used in some of the recent stuff that's happened as recent with some guys, where they've used kind of, unfortunately, their platform to do predatory shit, and it's like, what the fuck are y'all doing? And I think it does all stem from like they just love this fucking attention. It's something that they sought after, they got, and they don't know what to do. Someone joked in the chat, rip a Waffle House. Absolutely. Would have no problem. I think I'd make a pretty solid Waffle House.
If all this fell apart tomorrow and I had to get my ass down to a job center or whatever, I'll happily stack shells.
No problem.
I'll stack shells. I'll do it.
I did it. I fucking did it. It wasn't.
This is it. This is shit that we've done before we even came on the internet.
Yeah.
So I ain't
I've
got
been
no
a produce
pride to do that.
clerk at a fucking grocery store.
Yeah.
All that shit, man. I ain't got no. Ain't no.
It pays bills
for me.
Pays bills, puts food on the table.
Yeah. No problem for me.
Yeah. No one's bigger than anyone else. Well, I mean, no, that wasn't a joke, Boogie. But nobody's too big for that kind of work, But once more with feeling.
My mother twitted my fucking temples.
That's crazy.
So I'll ask you again: how much damage can 3 seconds do?
A lot, apparently.
A lot of
damage. I've learned that today. So that very impressive, nonetheless.
Whew. Check out EFAP this Saturday for what I can only imagine is going to be a hell of a part 2 to that one. Holy shit. Yeah, it's been pretty crazy over the course of the last few weeks with various internet online celebs for various reasons. Fuck me. Dr. Disrespect had his. Nicholas Regaders had his.
Yep.
We've had Boogie with his. Destiny with his.
We got.
I don't know the name.
Chris Bryan or whatever the fuck his name is. Chris Tyson or whatever the fuck his name is.
Whatever they used to be. Whoever they are, with theirs. And when I say theirs, I don't mean that as in they, them. I mean it with they've had multiple. Because that one was a disaster waiting to happen by the looks of it. Mm-hmm. And now we see why, and it's so interesting to kind of see the the narratives around all this, like Dr. Disrespect, people came at him really hard. He did dumb shit. He did a dumb fucking thing.
Mm-hmm.
He did a dumb thing 7 years ago. No need for him to do that. The guy was 35, married, kid on the way, whatever it was.
Right.
No business to be talking to a 17-year-old girl. No business. Stupid.
Yeah.
Because we don't see the dialogues, we don't know exactly what was said. I don't think it went into the realms of, but fucking dumb, stupid thing to do.
Mm-hmm.
But they went after him real hard, real fucking hard. And then you look at Chris, where you've actually got some text, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong. And the narrative around that is, he's being attacked because transphobia.
Yeah, Rolling Stone, I believe, put out a article not too long, I think, before we went live. And that was the headline, is that he steps down from Mr. Beast due to transphobic. Like,
sorry, I was twisting my tipples.
twisted fucking tipples or whatever. But yeah, that was the narrative that they're running with, is that now people are reacting, I guess, because of transphobia. And it always makes you wonder, like, was that the reason you went that route? Was that the shit? And I'm not a
That's where I was going with this. That's where I was going with this.
Not
a layer of protection. Yeah.
Or not trying to, but I guess the result is the same, because they're clinging on to that aspect of it. You have members of the mainstream already doing it, clinging on to that aspect, and that's the narrative that they're running with, that people are responding in a way that's transphobic. And look, I do think it's a conversation worth having. It's not to say that everybody that's a part of, said community are pedophiles or people that want to sexually abuse people. That said, I do think it's worth discussing that there does seem to be some level of either fucked up in the head, maybe abuse of their own that they've experienced, that has agents of, I won't say agents, but members of that community doing foul shit. And I think it does not help that community, and it specifically doesn't help the individuals or the victims that are involved in this, be it grooming or whatever you want to call it, by treating them with like kid gloves when they do some foul shit. Because you're correct. I mean, I've seen a lot of, even with bigger YouTubers, it was like Doc seemed to be white man, easy target. That was easy. Chris also is a white man, but he's trans, right? So it's a little different, and their angle is, and you had people that would talk about it, and instead of just saying, hey, this is messed up, probably shouldn't have did any of that, it's, wow, this is messed up, it's going to set the community back. And that's why they're mad. They're more mad at how it makes trans people look bad than they are at the fact that potentially there was a youngster that was groomed by an adult, right? And it's like, what the fuck are we doing? And that's the, man, it's so unfortunate how we talk about this dumb shit, because now that's the conversation. It's transphobia, when that shouldn't even be the conversation at all. Him being trans does not, or claiming to be, does not protect him from anything. Like, you can do fucked up shit and you'll be held accountable for that fucked up shit that you do. You don't get to just say, oh, trans.
But isn't
Fuck.
this to me is the huge problem when you group people into a collective and call it whatever you want to call it. I'm old.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
I know. I've been saying for years, I don't think the LGBT community is a community. I think it's a political movement that is.
Now it is, no doubt about it.
Yeah, that is trying to, which has got a narrative, and if you go against that narrative, it doesn't matter if you are gay, doesn't matter if you are trans, doesn't matter if you are bi. They will cast you out, because it is about having a specific ideology. And if you have that specific ideology and toe that line, then they'll pretty much defend you to the end.
Yes.
And so, yeah, it's just interesting that, I mean, I've said many times, when are we going to have the conversation that this is a movement which has been co-opted and taken over and manipulated by predators, by people who want shields.
To act like that, look, just being completely honest about the subject matter, we have to at least acknowledge that sector of the community, of that community exists. Pretending that it does not fix the problem, right? And I say this with any, like, demographics are interesting because a lot of people are afraid to talk about it. You know what I mean? It's like when you start to see trends, when you start to see things happening among them, right? It's like
I think that's part of the plan, though, Eric.
Yeah.
Is don't question.
Fair enough.
Because if you question, then you're a phobe, you're an ist, you're an ism, you're blah, blah, blah. So I think a lot of the point is to prevent questions from being asked and making people fearful of asking those questions because it is such a protective group.
Right. That makes all sense.
But it's easy to see who's protected. Like, through all of these things that have happened recently, it's easy to see who's protected and who isn't. That's a very clear.
Yeah, I mean, that distinction is obvious. Like, I mean, I think that it's almost like a very similar thing. Actually, I would argue that the Christian, we have, at least it seems to appear, like more evidence that we've seen with the Chris situation in comparison to Doc's, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yet one's being handled with kid gloves, the other one's not. And I think that's obvious. I mean, you don't have to take anybody's side to acknowledge that fact, that culturally there is a difference. Rolling Stones, matter of fact, let me see if I'm gonna find it and I'll share it with you, because this in itself shows you how they're handling this, despite it being very, very similar, how they're handling this versus the Doc situation.
The headline.
I'll just share it to you in the private.
Okay, you got it. Nice. Yeah.
Like, this is amazing. Like, this in itself. Chat, if you haven't seen this, when you read this headline, compare this to how the Doc situation has gone down. Just compare. Even though we're dealing with a very similar thing, that's an adult contacting and having deemed obviously inappropriate conversations with minors.
Yeah, nobody's condoning anything, by the way.
Make that clear.
This isn't we're condoning one and not the other. We're talking about the verbiage used. With Doc, he used one word. The word that everyone was going for was minor, and that's why people were going, because he specifically said in his statement, minor.
Right.
This is so we know what's happened with him. He's been persona non grata from the internet. This is how Rolling Stones magazine has decided to go with the what's he called, Chris Tyson. Chris Tyson steps away from all things Mr. Beast, admit transphobic attacks.
That's crazy, bro. That's wild. That's a wild ass headline, bro.
Tyson was accused of grooming a minor. The alleged victim, now 20 years old, refutes the claims. So that's where they're going. And they stick. I mean, I think what's even worse is the pictures of them behind fucking Nickelodeon backdrop.
Tell me about it.
And we all know about Nickelodeon and what was happening there. So it doesn't get any better.
That's a very interesting choice there.
But when you have that tweet, because this is a tweet from them themselves, right? So this is a tweet from Chris himself. And by the way, every pronoun he used there was correct. This is a tweet from Chris himself. And bear in mind what we just read with the headline. So Chris says, I would like to apologize for any of my past behavior or comments if it hurt or offended anyone. It was not my intent. Seeing recent events, we've mutually decided it's best I permanently step away from all things Mr. Beast and social media to focus on my family and mental health. Well, I think Chris is most certainly in a mental health decline.
Oh, there's no doubt about that.
Without any doubt. So I think you do need that. I don't think you're going to get it because I don't think you'll be going to the right places for it. And he is sticking his, I don't know how old his son is, but he's sticking them in high heels now and taking pictures.
Look, I know I'm on your channel, and I know we don't try to dive so much into social political stuff, but that really aggravates me.
Yeah, I mean that to me is not social political. That is
That angers me, man.
There's a difference between like a kid, like little kids, they can go and put fucking the mum's hat on and the mum's dress on and fucking stick the heels on and walk around the house and look, and it's like, but when you've made an ideological choice to change yourself from Chris to Ava, and now you're sticking your 3-4-year-old son in high heels.
That's fucked up, man. Like straight up.
Criminal is the word. Yeah, maybe criminal is the word.
It's whatever it is, whatever we want to call it, it's fucked up.
Yeah.
Nonetheless. But yeah, I think again, conversation worth having.
But if you've done nothing wrong, why would you apologize?
Yeah, there's clearly.
Why would you step away?
Yeah, it was clear that it was inappropriate things being said, and I understand that the kid, and which doesn't mean anything because the kid's now an adult apparently, and if you know how grooming works, them saying, okay, there was nothing inappropriate going on, that doesn't mean much coming from them, just considering again what we're talking about, right? Either way, it's inappropriate. And I hope to hell that the whole, hey, you're now trans was not specifically utilized because you figured you were thinking ahead. Like this will give me a shield. Like I hope to fucking God that wasn't what you did. But yeah, I do think, again, socially, culturally, it is a conversation that should be had. Definitely when you consider who all this person was specifically exposed to. That they had an audience that trended younger, right? We would say that about Mr. Beast.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah, absolutely. 100%. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, again, it's one of those, what you hope doesn't happen is what we've unfortunately seen happen, where you have people that are using their status to then, it's almost like it's giving them a pool of unfortunate people to be predators with, and that's fucked up. I'm hoping to God that you didn't go trans just because you were like, this is gonna come back to bite me. I need to survive the hits, and people will maybe hold their punches, pull them in the event that they know that you're trans now. And to be fair, again, if that wasn't the intention, that still would effectively happen, as we're reading this Rolling Stone headline that specifically, for whatever reason, mentions transphobic attacks, which that's not the core problem here, man. Like that's not even the problem at all. That's not what should be discussed, at least in my opinion. What should be discussed is the fact that, well, was this person actually having inappropriate conversations with minors knowingly, right? And if they were, then that's fucked up. That should be it. Not, oh, well, they're trans and people are attacking them because they're trans. Well, what the fuck does that have to do with anything?
As you said yourself, Mr. Beast's audience, I think we can all agree this isn't any stabs at all, leans towards a younger audience.
Yes.
I think that's very fair to say. I would say I am not Mr. Beast's target audience.
Not at all.
If I took 40 years off my life, maybe. But you're working for an organization, because Mr. Beast is an organization. It's an organization. There's hundreds of people that work, or, best part of 100 people that work for that organization. You are working a lot with children, as we've seen from this itself. The picture here of Chris is by Nickelodeon, right?
Kids' Choice Awards, yep.
Okay. So is it an edgy joke? Because this is what Chris did. Is it an edgy joke to say that you love whacking it off to Lolly? Which essentially you're saying I whack it off to kids, to animated children.
Which is fucked up.
And you work with children. Is that an edgy joke? I would say it's exceedingly inappropriate joke for your position.
You have to be aware of that, though.
If somebody had tweeted that and they're working for me, they wouldn't be working for me any longer.
Fair enough. And that's what I'm saying. Like, you have to be aware of that. I think that's really the crux of the conversation here. Is like, were you using your status to be a predator, because again, what you do specifically, I don't know if target's the appropriate term, but the appeal seems to be more to youngsters, right? And that's obvious, right? You're standing in front of kids' choice awards. You get acknowledged by an audience of youngsters, right? So yeah, people, rightfully so, should be like, okay, look, bro, if you're having this conversation with a minor, did you have access to other minors? Are you specifically in this shit to get at like, it's a conversation worth having. And like I said, because y'all's audience trends that way, especially parents have every right, obviously, and understanding that, look, this is fucked up. And am I consuming the media, or are my children consuming the media of someone that is a predator? I mean, I think any parent, that's rational.
That's fair.
You know,
fair question to ask.
I don't think that's being unfair. It's not to say that, yeah, obviously people appeal and whatever they create in their art and their creativity, whatever, it's going to appeal to whatever demographics. But specifically, when you get caught maybe doing something fucking inappropriate with youngsters and you appeal to youngsters, the fuck? What else? What else are we supposed to be talking about here? I guess to Rolling Stones, we should be talking about the transphobic attacks.
Well, yeah, it's just people, you know, it's not what they were saying or anything.
Yeah, it's not what they're doing.
I mean, this again, this is not taking side. I mean, everyone knows that Eric and I were big Dr. Disrespect fans, but this is not taking sides. It's just how the narrative has gone. And it just literally took about 2 scrolls down to when you put Chris Tyson in to see this. I want everyone to keep the same energy with Chris Tyson as they did with Dr. Disrespect. And that is fair. That is fair.
It's almost the same. Like I said, we have more evidence because we haven't seen shit. We haven't seen any conversation or anything at all. We have more evidence with Chris than we do with Doc. Either way, whether it be Doc or Chris, what the fuck are y'all doing? Right? Contacted minors. And you, if you know that you specifically know that they're minors and you're having an appropriate conversation with them, whether you're Doc or Chris, that's a no. You don't fucking do that. But it is fair to mention, like, okay, we ain't getting equal backlash.
No,
right now, not at all. It's not even close.
I think it'd be fair. I think that would just be absolutely fair. And the likelihood is we'll never see the conversations with Doc.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's irrelevant. He did a dumb fucking thing and he's paying for it.
Yes.
But they are desperately trying to run defense and interference for Chris Tyson.
And they that benefit and look, rightfully so.
And we know why.
The headline told you why. And with Rolling Stone. We know exactly why the fuck they did it. So it's foul either way. But like I said, going back to what I was talking about earlier, I just hope that it wasn't a case of, and I'm not saying that this happened. I don't know. But I hope to God this was not a case like, okay, I see that this may come back to bite me. I'm going to switch teams, switching sides. Because culturally right now in the West, there's a lot of favoritism towards that demographic.
So protected.
Yeah, they're protected. I mean, a protected class. Because holy shit.
Your American government's hiring to run their nuclear programs and their armies.
Yeah.
And
it's fucking weird, dude.
Yeah. But it not just a matter, I mean, one could be a bit more cynical, not just a matter of changing sides to protect themselves, changing sides to gain access.
Like I said, man, I'm hoping that, because even surface level, this is fucked up. but I'm hoping it doesn't go much deeper than that. Just for the sake of there, I'm hoping there's not more victims. I'm hoping that this is not a case of people really thinking it that much, thinking that far ahead, and they're thinking like, this gives me what you're doing gives you access to a bunch of people, bunch of youngsters. That's your target, unfortunate like audience in terms of victims, right? Gives you a pool. It's like they're just handing them right over to you. And I hope to God that you didn't use your this sexualization bullshit. I hope that wasn't your attempt. Like, hey, I'm going to shield me away from this by going trans. Because let's be fair, okay? I'm not saying that I knew this guy, but what seems to be the general consensus, and maybe someone will correct me if I'm wrong, but from what I picked up when this story first broke with Chris becoming Ava, whatever the fuck, it came out of left field. Like, it wasn't like a gay man, right? It wasn't like a gay dude. It wasn't like some guy that, okay, you knew that was something that they anticipated. This person not only was straight, they had a fucking family.
Mm-hmm.
So it makes it more even like a what the fuck type of situation. Like, what do you like? That was, I don't know. Maybe I'm tripping, but my mind immediately goes to like, it was not genuine. And is there a genuine like trans? Look, that's a conversation worth having. But you get what I'm saying. It's one thing for some really fucked up that got gender dysmorphia out the wazoo person to end up cutting their dangalang off. That's one thing, and it's fucked up either way. But that's one thing. This wasn't the case. This was a guy who had a full fucking family and was willing to basically blow it up to become trans. So again, were you doing that because you knew that this would shield you from some shit that may come back to bite you? I hope not, because that makes this significantly worse. And maybe there's some other shit that we need to be looking at as well.
I got a feeling we haven't heard the last with Chris Tyson.
Nah.
But I did notice that the Rolling Stones article did not put in those
transphobic attacks
jokes. No, not just the transphobic, but the edgy jokes. But the Rolling Stones magazine is a pile of fucking leftist trash.
Absolutely, top to bottom,
just like Destiny. But we are seeing very much who is protected, who's not protected, the rules for thee, the rules for me, and the people who have got all of the fucking power are the ones who are claiming and screaming phobia or censorship
or some sort of marginalization, which doesn't make sense. Because I mean, you have enough power to be shielded to where when you do something that I think most people in any just society would argue, like, leave the fucking kids alone. And anybody that does something that especially targets them, that's especially like fucked up. A lot of people, any just society is going to be very protective of its youngsters, right? So when you have a situation where a youngster is targeted potentially, and instead of the focus being on that whole ordeal and trying to sort that out, your focus is the transphobic attacks. Yeah, I don't know. You hella protected for sure. Because what the fuck is that? But they published it and it's still up. That's what it says. Not amid grooming accusations, amid transphobic attacks. So when you are looking at the actual headline, that's what they want you to know. It's the transphobic attacks. Not that they stepped away because this got uncovered. A story where an adult was having inappropriate conversations with a minor. It's amid transphobic attacks.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe, oh, by the way, the tweet that they said was, nothing gets my dick cock, something like that, a cranking like some lolly. That was an actual tweet that they put out reply. But correct me if I'm wrong, wasn't there something about they were following some sort of artist or something that was.
Yeah, there was some artist that was doing some questionable shit as well, and he wasn't the only one. There was several like bigger names that were oddly protective of that guy doing fucked up shit. I look, man, apparently there are some folks that are into some crazy shit, man. And the fact that some of these guys have access, and I'm using that term loosely because they're not supposed to youngsters, man, I think this is a time where all of you parents out there for sure need to be reassessing what type of media your youngsters are consuming.
Yeah.
And for sure, because there's clearly a lot of people, and sometimes you get blindsided, but there's a lot of people that are into doing some egregious things.
Oh, happy day.
So be a fucking parent is, I guess, what I'm saying.
People are saying Shadman.
Yeah,
so
that
what,
guy. Yeah. That's him.
Right. And they've been outed or something themselves, or I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, Keem said something about him like drawing sexualized pictures of his 8-year-old and shit. Not even joking. I'll pull that up. I get that just to make sure that I'm not fucking misinterpreting what he said, but I'm almost positive that's what he claimed. Someone in chat said, "Yep." And here's the tweet where he posted. I'm sharing this in a private chat of all the people that, like I said, it wasn't just that were associated with the Shadman guy. But there's a lot of them that are there. Some of them bigger than others. And look, I don't like to do the guilt by association. I don't think that's necessarily fair. For sure. And I want to be very open and clear about that. Like, if you know someone and they turn out to be a piece of shit, that's not your fault unless you knew that person was a piece of shit.
Well, I know. I mean, I haven't spoken to for years, but I know Dolan Dark, and Dolan Dark's an animator now, so I can see how he would know just purely through animation. So
I totally understand that, and I don't want to.
Yeah, it's difficult.
Unfair.
Yeah, it's difficult to put an association.
Yeah, you don't want to do that. Like, you don't want to fault people just for, again, knowing someone or doing work with someone. Because again, if they don't know, they don't know.
Yeah.
Right. But it is another thing where it's like you knowingly knew this inappropriate shit was going on,
but I think if somebody's outed, then
you just act accordingly.
Then you act accordingly. Oh, you're doing this? Yeah, we've got.
That's fair enough. Any rational person is gonna be like, okay, yeah, you're doing something that's criminal, like especially criminal. Like, yeah, we don't want no part of that shit. Like that. That's a fair assessment. But yeah, it's like I said, I think this is a time where the parents out there, you use this situation and the recent situations, man, to really analyze what type of media and who the people are that they're consuming, as far as their material entertainment, if you will, because fuck, man, it's some wild people out there, man.
No, I ever since the initial business with Chris Tyson changing to Ava, and then finding out that they were married, had kids, and then the whole like complete lifestyle change, like almost immediately. Just came across to me as very, very odd. And I didn't know if it was a power play. I didn't know if it was to try and secure their position within the company or make their position an anchor because of how protected they are.
Right.
And then stuff like this started to filter out, and you kind of think, well, I've got one, and I've got one, and there's a 2 over there. So just how, right. Right. But I don't think this is the end of this story. I think the stepping away is because if it was just edgy jokes and whatnot, to step away now, you didn't step away when you wanted to do your lifestyle change.
True.
You know, these things, these edgy jokes have been out there because they're public. It's not as if these are DMs which are linked or anything. These are public Twitter responses. I mean, if somebody says, "Oh, as you know, I saw a tweet from you where you called somebody a baguette," and I'd be like, "Yeah,
Sure it is.
do you still stand by that today?" You know, absolutely. Yeah, no problem. So if your intent was to be edgy or silly or whatnot, stepping away from a huge organization. I think there's more to this which is going to come out.
We shall see. I don't know if who was I having this conversation with yesterday? Like, does Mr. Beast just not say anything and just go about his business? Or is it? Or do you think it's normally? Because this is the thing. I always have to try to separate. I'll preface it this way. You have like the general audience, like us, you know, connected to the internet, all that. We see that conversation. Then you have like the normie audience, which oftentimes they don't see a lot of what we see. Now, because Mr. Beast is so massive and he transcends a lot of this just internet low-cow bullshit, he's like beyond that, right? So is the normie audience big enough to where it's like, okay, he had his own thing. He's no longer here, and he just keeps going about his business. And it's like he didn't even have to address it. Is it that bad to where it's like he absolutely has to say something?
I think there was a statement.
I didn't see a statement yet.
Or I might be making up in my head. I do know that.
Correct us if we're wrong, chat. He hadn't said shit.
Jesus God.
I don't think he said anything, bro.
Eric, the worst thing about putting this fucking shit either in a search engine or on a social media site. My God, my eyes.
Yeah.
My fucking eyes with what I have to say now. Yeah, I mean, look, how'd you go? Seriously, though, serious question. How'd you go from married with children to this in this span of almost immediate? Huh?
I said, bros, the thing that makes this especially weird is because this was not like some flamboyantly gay dude that cut his dangalang off. At that point, again, might say, hey, you probably shouldn't have did that, and you can disagree with it all day long, but it's one of those where like you saw it coming. This guy had a full family with a kid, right? And there was no signs that this person was gay, no signs that he wanted to be a whammon, none of that shit. There was none of that existed prior to him up and saying, hey, he wants to be a girl. And that's where I was like, okay, not saying can't prove it. I'll be the first one to say, you know, I'm just throwing this out there. I don't know. But if someone was like speculating and they're like, they think that he did it because of maybe something that was going to happen down the line and it would shield him from it, I don't think that's a rational conclusion to come to when you consider that it was just an up and switch that came out of fucking nowhere. Like it literally came. This is not, I think that's an important context to understand. This was not just some gay dude that just up and wanted to, you know, decided, okay, he's going to go through with the transition, right? Like we're not dealing with RuPaul here, bro. Like we are dealing with a dude that had a whole family and didn't show any signs that this was what he was on. Motherfucker had a kid, bro. He had a fucking married with kids, bro. So I don't fucking know. That shit was weird. It was weird when it happened, and now it's especially weird when you hear this new shit that came out, and you're like, man, it's awfully convenient, bro. Maybe they're not connected. Maybe I'm just thinking too much into it. All right, I'll be the first to say, and if I'm wrong on this, I'm not even necessarily claiming that that's what happened. I'm more or less saying that it's not an irrational conclusion to come to. That's it.
What confuses me, well, it doesn't confuse me at all, but it's the terminology that we use. The thing that confuses me is if the person said nothing happened and you said nothing happened, why are you stepping away? Why are you deciding it's best to step away when you can refute and fight these things? If you are right, then fighting is a good thing to prove people wrong.
Absolutely. You're in it. One thing. One. I mean, that's yeah. If you're not guilty, right? If you didn't do anything wrong, then yeah, you definitely with something like this, because that's a pretty damning thing to have attached to you, right? You're like, hey, I didn't do fucking nothing wrong. But apparently he thinks that this is whatever that means. That for sure means they had a conversation, and maybe it was you were fired, but what we're gonna say publicly, we're just saying we mutually parted ways because we thought it was best, and it looks good on your like that's corporate speak, right?
Yeah.
This was more of okay, this is negative, and they're getting out of it. But again, I don't think we've heard the last of it.
No, and I do recall there was a couple of 3 videos that I saw.
Hold on. Carol said something important where she said she this is Carol Ann,
okay,
shout out. Said she met Chris in person multiple times, had mutual friends, and lived in the same town. She said also used to be the landlord for Mr. Beast's warehouse, and I never got the gay vibe from Chris. That's what I'm saying. It was a switch out of fucking nowhere.
Yeah.
It just happened. Like it just like we were all surprised. And it's like, what do you mean this guy's now? He has a full family, kids. He's not like gay. Where again, you know the difference. You know when there's a guy that goes trans, and you're like, yeah, I kind of saw that coming, right? And then there's the guy that just, which is what we have right now, which is just, bam, gone. Now all of a sudden, fuck your family, blowing up the family to be trans. Did you really do that because there were these feelings that you were suppressing this entire time that you just wanted to be a girl? Or are you shielding yourself? And I hate to be that guy, but it's like a conversation worth having because people do fucked up shit.
Well, when you've got the Rolling Stone magazine, regardless of how shit it is now, once upon a time it had a good reputation. But once you have that running defense for you, it kind of shows where the power dynamic is.
Yeah, I mean, the incentive's there. Maybe he didn't, and this is why I said effectively, Rolling Stone said what they said. So, yeah, you're now part of this protect. You went from being who people deemed as like the evils of everything America, right? The white man, to now being this protected class. And now being trans.
Straight white male transitions into protected class.
Yeah, remember I'm like, and because like I'm a black straight man, I am the white people of black people. Well, that's what they say. So even if we're talking about the oppression Olympics, like ranking order, he's even below where guys like myself stand. So he went from being the guy that everybody points to as evil to now being bottom of the totem pole, or now the top, I guess, depending on what way you put it.
I wish you told me you were black earlier.
I know, right? That's breaking news on Ripping the Silverback. So why you gotta watch the show, because you never know what news may break.
Come on, dude, I'm racist. I can't have black people on the show. Come on.
Man,
got me in the right pickle here now.
My apologies, man.
I know I'm gonna get out of this one. Yeah. Yeah, I know we said it a few times already, but I'll say it one more time. I don't think this story's over. I don't think it's over by a long shot.
But like I said, is it over enough to where, or is it not over enough to where Mr. Beast says something?
I actually could not find. I was looking.
That's what I'm saying.
I could not find a single statement.
He hasn't said anything yet. He hasn't said anything. So is he in a position to where he doesn't have to? And he's just going to move on like nothing fucking happened.
I haven't seen the guy, but I know that he's meant to be pretty huge. XQC?
Yeah.
Even I saw there's a tweet from him saying a lot of people are very quiet. A lot of these same people that have been very vocal, very quiet about this Chris Tyson stuff. Double kind of standard going on here.
Anybody can see it. You don't have to take sides to acknowledge that.
No, but I did see is a couple of 3 videos when this dropped about Chris a few months ago when they transitioned from a straight white male into stunning and brave. That this was now a massive problem for Mr. Beast going forward. This is a huge problem waiting to happen. And then Mr. Beast, I think, came out with a statement based on videos like this because they were getting quite a bit of traction saying Chris is an integral part of the group, or Ava, whatever you wanted to call them. They're not going anywhere. I'm getting sick of this transphobia or something.
I remember that. That was last year. I do remember him saying that. Well, he was like, that's his guy or gal, whatever. Yeah. I do remember that.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's true. That's fair enough. So yeah, I don't know. It will be, I wouldn't be surprised if he just says nothing and just goes about his business. And now hey, I just fed 6,000 Cambodians for the rest of their lives or whatever. And that'll be the next title. And again, his audience may be big enough and full of normies that this shit doesn't even impact it. Well, on our sector, then the perpetually online, I guess. But the others, maybe not.
We had a guy over here called Jimmy Savile. You may have heard of him.
Yeah.
Mr. Savile used raising millions of dollars for charity as a way to get to the children.
Yep.
Mr. Savile used being a television presenter, kids television presenter, to get to children. When people want to find a way to get through to them, they can find some of the easiest routes to do it and the safest
and
routes
the obvious ones too. It's like setting it up silver platter, bro.
Not saying this is the case, of course, with Mr. Beast.
Right.
I am just saying that when a predator's going to go for something, they're going to find pathways that are going to facilitate what they want more easily. Kara again says, I haven't supported Mr. Beast stuff for my own personal reasons, and I wouldn't trust them in regards to anything. Very questionable people connected to the group now and previous. Yeah, I was watching, one of those not down the rabbit hole videos, but sort of like, a video on like a creator that built up and fell down sort of business. And there were a couple that were connected to Mr. Beast early doors. Admittedly, they seem to self-destruct on their own. Definitely not affording any blame there to Mr. Beast. But there was a couple that were either part of the group or the team, that are meant to do the skits or whatever, or the editing and all that kind of stuff. And yeah, there seems to be a lot of sort of, I guess with any larger organization, the larger it gets, the more problems it gets.
Yeah, it's gonna be more, like I say, you can't. That's why I want to be fair to them, at least with the whole like guilt by association thing. I don't want to go down that rabbit hole. That said, you gotta watch out for that type of shit, obviously. And yeah, people are gonna wonder. Definitely when you're dealing with kids. It'd be one thing if it was somebody doing some fucked up shit that had nothing to do with anything that you're connected to, right? But with your audience skewing young, and then you have a person that's among your ranks doing stuff like that, that's why I also would not be surprised if he does have to come out and say something, because it may be something that's so damaging towards his towards the audience that I was, again, using targeted, not like, I'm not trying to use targeting that he's targeting them like to do bad things. I'm just saying like that's his target audience as far as
his target demographic
as far as who they appeal to, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it also could be bad enough because of that, where he has to say something and get ahead of it, but he hasn't tried to get ahead of it other than Chris walking away from it. He's just he hasn't said anything. So is it all right? Well, let's make sure we get our shit in order, get our ducks in a row, come up with a game plan, and they're taking some time to do that. But it also, again, I wouldn't be surprised either way if he says nothing and he just puts out another more videos, there's a chance that the audience, the normie audience, doesn't even give a fuck, or they don't know. It's like it's out of sight, out of mind type of situation, because not everybody's perpetually online.
No. But don't you find it interesting? I just actually had this thought. Don't you find it interesting that no matter how much good Mr. Beast videos do, we fed this, these amount of people, we got running water to these amount of people, blah, blah, blah. His videos would come under unbelievable criticism from mainstream media.
Yeah.
Oh, sure. This guy is doing this white savior complex, blah, all this kind of shit.
Yeah.
Then as soon as a straight white man transforms into stunning and brave, this comes out. Now what they're doing? They're running in they're
running cover, bro.
I mean,
yeah, it's a good point. And then at that point, it's like, again, was it strategy or was it like just set of circumstances and they benefited from it? I think those are different, but it could go either way. I mean, because could you look at it like, obviously Mr. Beast is a fucking leftist himself, and he's been pretty clear on that. And then he did, and you could look at it like, hey, this is just my employee, and I'm just kind of backing him, which okay, whatever, more power to you. But yeah, he stood his ground. Now, is he standing his ground because that's his bro and that's someone he came up with and he feels like they were a valuable asset to the company? Okay, cool, fair enough. Or was it, this might shield me from some other shit and get me in favor with people who demonize me for doing the things that I do? I honestly don't know. I'm not going to pretend to make a decision one way or the other, but it could go either way. That's crazy.
Those tweets which came out from whenever they came out, 2016, whatever. Mr. Beast was still pretty fucking massive in 2016. So if somebody in my organization was tweeting, I'm cranking my fucking Jimmy to
Yeah, under no circumstance would that be appropriate.
No.
Like there's no edgy jokes that's beyond that. That's just foul.
Yeah. And if it was your boy, let's say it's your boy that did that, and so you wanted to give the ultra benefit of that it was just edgy, the edgiest of edgy, it would be anything, a sniff of, first of all, you get rid of it. I know the internet's forever, but you can still get rid of it as a statement of intent. You get fucking rid of it. And if there's a sniff of any of this, you are fucking gone.
You out of there.
You are gone.
Fair enough. That would be fair enough. But like I said, he might not say nothing else. He might just be like, fuck it. I'm Mr. Beast. I don't gotta say shit.
Biggest YouTuber on the planet.
On the planet, quite literally. If it's one person that could, it's him.
But they just recently did with the X monetization, that was a fucking scam.
Oh yeah.
That look, if you put a video on X, then you get, look at the ad revenue that I got. Isn't it amazing? But that was a bunch of bollocks because it was all set up and it wasn't indicative of what other people would get. I mean, obviously other people's videos wouldn't get the leverage that Mr. Beast would, but it still wasn't the way that other videos would operate anyway.
Yeah.
So the whole thing was a front to try and get people to post videos onto X. So they're not above doing. I wouldn't call it per se shady. I would say it was insincere. Not an accurate representation.
Yeah. That's for sure fair.
Yeah. So this is this is a bit crazy.
Crazy story all around, bro. Like, what the fuck?
Now, chat, we're going to go to supers now because this is going to be a shorter show today. Because I am going to be heading into bed pretty soon. Because Mr. Mr. Porkchop is en route to his hotel nearby. And tomorrow we're going to be painting like a trooper. So I need to get my my resticles up. So we're going to jump into the supery duperies. And let's just make sure that we're starting at the same spot. Yeah, we are. Look at that. We're starting off with GraphWeb. For fuck's sake! With $2. Hashtag cancel Disney Plus. I have. I totally watched The Acolyte with a friend who totally had Disney Plus. Isn't it weird that everybody that made any type of video whatsoever relating to The Acolyte made more money than The Acolyte made for Disney Plus? Unless, of course, Disney are going to announce they had 18 million people sign up because it was so fucking good.
So good.
So good.
Popular.
So good.
Well reviewed, watched. 18 million in the bank.
18 million just went
in the black.
Fuck yes.
He said, I'm paying. I'm not bumming off of this. I'm paying for Disney Plus specifically for The Acolyte.
But even if 18 million people did sign up at $10 a month, anybody that made $1, even a cent, on any video from The Acolyte is actual profit, though, for them.
Yeah.
Versus that would only break Disney even.
Yeah, true. That's very true. That's very true.
HTK bass player with a $5 says for the hoose. Also, can't wait for Gooding.
And I'm excited for it.
Last week, what day's the final day?
29th. So that's Monday. Going into Monday, so around midnight-ish. Yeah, midnight-ish. Yeah.
Okie dokie.
We'll have a little something.
Little something. And then the Horseman.
Yeah, man. We're going in.
Do we have a date for the Horseman?
Not quite yet, but I'm just being transparent. I'm trying to. We're gonna get it out by the summer, so that gives us like towards the latter half of September. But I like to try to get it out next month. We'll see though. For sure, the pre-order launch for it. Like we're moving, but we will. I already promised you guys, or I've told you that there will be multiple collections that'll be active in August. Either way, so again, we're cooking, bros. We're cooking.
Guy asks, is there any update on the Yaira CGCs? Not trying to nag, just looking for an update.
No. That's a fair assessment. This is why we're kind of gonna switch up. Hell, there's a reason why there's no CGCs available for this one. Part of it has to do with a lot of the turnaround, and it's a weird time of the year, to be fair to CGC. We love working with them, but there's a lot of hiccups there that can be there, definitely, because they're getting prepared for San Diego Comic-Con and all that happening. I know that they should be sent to us. This is what I'm being told. They're being sent to us, the rest. So the only remaining orders, most of them have already gone out, but the rest should be sent to us this week. Woo! Meaning that we should have them by the beginning of next week, or at the end of this week. We will see. We'll keep tabs on that. But yeah, we've learned a lot from that. Just considering all things considered, we've tried to communicate this, but we're not the only ones that send in stuff to CGC, though we have a great working relationship with them. So we are kind of gonna adjust how we do our CGCs because of that. Like, we don't like the delays, and keep in mind, we're eating up all the shipping on this, right? Because we had to split those orders, right? So everybody's waiting on those are ones that we didn't charge anybody for shipping for those. So we're eating a lot of shipping costs because of it. So we're making some adjustments.
Yeah, you gotta, as fair as you gotta be to the customer, you gotta be fair on your sales as well.
Yeah,
because more profit means more things that you can possibly do. Garfield's Bizarre Adventure's been a member for 6. A shout out to Katie Did, who is lurking in the chat with a dog on her lap and a jar of peanut butter. I don't know who's that.
I don't know either. As it's oh man, something. Yeah.
Something. Josh Kelsey with a $20. Josh again. Thank you, bud. Appreciate you. But why would you have a jar of peanut? Don't worry about it. Shindo Versus with a $10 says, as I heard on the Real BBC that you were fired for asking for more money. How awful. This is for you to don't go spending it all in one place. You tell that Gary to be nice. What's up, Rip?
Yo, what up, what up?
Yeah, I asked Gary if he could double my wages from $1 to $2. And Gary went, get the fuck off my show. That's the truth. Because Twitter told me. And they know everything. Dragonwise has become a member. Dragonwise, thank you, sir. Well-read comics with a $5 says Hell, EJ, and Az.
Shout out.
Boogie is what happens when you have no life off the internet. Touch grass or go mad. But it's so bizarre because, as we've seen, he had his Magic the Gathering friends and club. He has his arcade machines, an arcade that he loves to go to. It's the only thing that brings him joy in life. He has his gaming. He was married. Then he got divorced. Then he paid hundreds of thousands of dollars on whores. Then he got a girl friend who was a girl. And it's all of this. What excuse does the guy have?
Not much.
Yeah, the guy was married. He was married. When he used to do his sketches, his sister in the sketch was actually his wife, Desi. That was his actual wife. Yeah. So there's no excuse. It's narcissism to me. It's rampant narcissism.
Right.
Kratos Raptor 85 with a $5 says in 3 seconds you can lose the WWE Universal Championship. Oh, did that happen? Oh, was that when Sheamus knocked off Daniel Bryan's head? Oh, you got 1, 2, 3. I guess that's what you're talking about, isn't it, Kratos? 1, 2, 3. Hey, when's SummerSlam? SummerSlam's next weekend, is it? Not this weekend, next weekend? I'm going to watch SummerSlam. Hey, chat, I'm going to get your mum, and we're going to watch SummerSlam together. And I'm going to have a jar of peanut butter and I don't know. I don't know what's going on, Eric. Avery Parker's been a member for a month. Some nights I stay up cashing in my bad luck. Some nights I call it a draw. And after appreciating life, decide, do what must be done, and go be great.
Shout out, Avery.
Good man, Avery.
Yeah.
CM Punk's coming back at SummerSlam. Say the Saskas. Oh, CM Punk. CM Punk. I'll have to. They haven't got a figure of him yet, though, have they? Since he's come back, they could have had a CM Punk and a cast. I'm making money for the WWE. I'm making money. Low Lips Liquor with no. Whoa. I'm taking that back. Lower Lips Lick It. It's been changed.
Interesting.
With a $10 is as 5 for the Hoos and 5 to Bell. Ripper, when are you treating everyone for ice cream at Froggy's?
Is there some obligation that was placed upon me?
I don't know. Sometimes I think the internet's and I have no idea what the internet is. And I'm putting 5 on for Bell now, sir. Thank you. Punk's been doing goodwill. The WE really needs it. Yeah, get a figure. I want a figure, man. Speaking of figures, hey, you know that small little company, McFarlane, I think it is, McFarlane Toys?
Yeah, just a up and coming.
Yeah. Well, you should talk to them about figures.
Yeah, I should. Yeah. Maybe I'll reach out, see what we can see if they're willing to work with me.
If I come to Dallas, will you buy me an ice cream?
Yes.
Fuck yes. CM Punk Dogs Larry just got his own merch. What? Keltrick with a $5. There's evidence of Chris owning art from a known PD on Twitter. You can see the art on one of Chris's older videos. Truly disgusting.
I think that's what they're talking about. The other guy. What's his name? Was it Shad? Whatever.
Shadman? Was it Shadman?
I don't know.
Sounds like a scat group. I'm the Shadman. Put it in the wood chipper. Obviously, I'm talking about the picture.
Of course.
Of course. The picture, of course. East Coast Toasty Boy with the $5 says, Kangman Lee had a theory that he's only LARPing as trans because he knew his past would surface and did it to avoid punishment in today's protected class. Yeah, I mean, this is what you said.
That's what I was bringing up. And it's like I say, I can't. That's a very difficult thing to prove, obviously, and what a interesting way to go about it. But wouldn't put it past anybody to go that route, especially desperate people.
Yeah, desperate plus immoral plus fucking vile. As we're seeing from Boogie, they'll do anything. They'll do anything.
Yeah.
So I just would not put it past people to do that sort of thing. Pygmy Splint with the $5 says, British geezer, we need your help. Help us save Warhammer 4,000 or 40,000, I should really say. 40k before it degenerates. Get to it. You have the greatest power of all, a voice. It's oh god, I don't want to destroy you here, but it's gone. It's gone. And I'll tell you, Pygmy, it didn't go recently. It didn't go recently with these changes. It went back in 2020 when they came out and attacked their customer base in 2020. Went, if you don't, black people are amazing. If you don't stand with gay transgenders, and you're like, whoa, how did you just go from black people to that? Then we don't want you in Warhammer, and they put that statement out. Go fuck off. That's when they were dead. That was the shank in the showers. That was the shank in the showers. It's been on its way for a long time now, and I'm sort of done with it. I'm done with it. I'm done with Warhammer. It's a very expensive hobby. And so it's very easy to say, oh, well, if you're going to treat us like that, then fuckity off. Save ourselves some shekels. But it certainly isn't Games Workshop. It's not the thing that Ian Livingston created, back in 74, 75 or something. Ian Livingston was he still is alive, but great man. Sheep Studium with a $10 is for the Castle. It's going in the book.
Oh.
Going in the book. Woo! There you go, Sheep. Shadman drew the pictures of King's daughter. Sensitive Society talked on it and showed Chris had a Shadman poster in his room. Anakin treated the younglings better than these weirdos. I think there's a lot more of this story to come out. I think, and I don't mean just maybe specifically at Chris. I think there's going to be a parting of the sea, Yeah. Jason D has been a member for 3 months as baseball had the steroid era in the 90s. I believe we'll look on this era as the oppressed Olympics era.
Oppression Olympics, yeah.
I just want us to get out of this era as quickly as possible.
Sure, man. Holy shit.
That's what I want. That's definitely what I want. Stephen DeLeon with a $5 says, whoa. Eric's black?
Yeah, breaking news.
You think you know someone? This is what you get.
Yeah.
I feel like Mr. Beast just been blindsided by Chris last year. I know how it feels. I know how Boogie feels now. William with a $10 says Chelsea, inverted commas, Manning, went trans after being convicted of espionage and was then sent to a woman's prison only to have sentence commuted by Obama. Double standards indeed. Alabama loves himself a good. Anyway, Wild Bite Camper has been a member for 10 months. Wild Bite Camper, thank you. Coalee with a $10. There's lots of friends been thrown under the bus this year. Jack Black and Kyle Gass, Mr. Beast and Chris Tyson. Now has finding out that Eric is black. I know.
That's good.
Like I said, I know how they feel.
That's good.
And I know how they feel now. Helena Handbasket has been a member for 21 months and says Kamala is not black.
I mean, Indian, but you know, what are you gonna do? She's whatever is convenient. I remember she was the first Indian American senator, and now she's gonna be the first black female president. So who the fuck knows?
Is she gonna win?
I'll say this much. I don't think so, but I will say this much. If you did, I think what people should not sleep on is how enthusiastic she makes, not particular people of our demographic, but for whatever reason, especially women. Don't sleep. But right now she's polling just as bad as Biden. I mean, you can take that to mean whatever you want.
Oh, I heard she was ahead in the polls.
Well,
but I heard that Hillary Clinton had a 98.1% chance of winning.
That is fair.
On the day of the election.
Yeah.
So our exit polls are showing 98.1% for Hillary Clinton.
Yeah.
And then I woke up and this orange guy was in charge.
Funny how that works.
Weird. Eric, is there anything that you would like to plug before we go, sir?
Not anything other than Gooding the Polymath being up for pre-order right now. Fulfillment's going to start on Monday.
Wow,
Campaign
really?
Ends on Monday. Yes. Fulfillment start. We're going right into that. Fulfillment starts Monday as the campaign ends. So the campaign will end. Fulfillment will start. So go pre-order right now. I was actually looking at the back end numbers. Remember, guys, cover A, B, and C will not be reprinted. So consider that, because we are less than 250 left for cover A and less than 215 left for cover C. So and this is the final week. So you guys know that, especially going into the last few days, sales are gonna go up.
What number is it on at the moment? How many books have been sold?
We're over 80. We would just cross the 8,000 mark, and now we're almost at 86. So we might be at 86. So yeah, like it's moving. So
not even a campaign.
This is wild. It's been crazy successful. So yeah, go get A, B, and C. D will continue to reprint, but A, B, and C will not get reprinted. And this is one that may, at least some of these covers are going to probably sell out by the end of the collection. So go grab those now or pre-order.
East Coast Toasty Boy, the $2 says, I'll believe Eric is black. Before him, he having what?
Oh, before me, he said he'll believe me being black before, I guess, me having hair.
I beardoed that chat. Yeah, you did. Great stuff. Ripperverse.com. Go to the shop, pick up your Gooding right now. I'll put the link in the description box down below if you're watching this a little later on. I am going to crawl into bed, relax for a little bit, and then drift off into the land of Nod, ready for a hard day of painting tomorrow.
There you go.
And by painting, I mean I'm going to be doing a stream with Gary talking to Mark Millar.
Shout out, Mark.
Yeah. That will be starting on Gary's channel at 4 p.m. tomorrow. Friday night. How many kidding?
Oh man,
I was fired. Remember, I was fired. Yeah, I'm going to be a little bit incommunicado, folks, for the next few days after that because of having new carpet put in. This room's getting laminated. This room's getting painted. Hallway being painted. Front room's going to have a few changes. I've got a few things to run past Mr. Porkchop and see what he thinks because I'm contemplating moving the modular cases from downstairs into this revamped office, which will free up the front room to get a nice bigger sofa in so that when me and your mum lounging, come on. So there's lots happening. Yeah. I've got my, hey, Gary paid his yesterday. So I got my buck. My final buck from FNT. We'll see where it goes and on who. So massive thank you to everyone who came to watch today. Mods, thank you so much indeed for giving up your free time. Everybody who super chatted, membered, remembered, all that good stuff. Thank you for supporting the channel. Eric and I will be back next week over on Eric's channel. Until then, you take care. Goodbye, Balooble.
Peace.